Our patterns of thinking that have been conditioned over time cause us to perform certain actions. In the midst of executing these actions, we are programming or reinforcing a way of being. But if our life is not giving us the results we hope for, it will often be related to the pathway of thinking, doing, and being a certain way. It is our thinking, feeling states, and behaviors that dictate the circumstances and events that take place in our life. If there is something that we don't like, the power to change this will come from within. We each have what is referred to as associative memory. This is defined as the ability to learn and remember the relationship between unrelated items. These types of memories are neural networks that are used for retrieval of memories in the brain. These memories are also stored within our physical actions, such as typing in our PIN number or writing our address. Once these things have been performed a number of times, they are automatic through the actions of the body. Rarely do we consciously have to think about washing the dishes, driving a car, or walking from one room to another. These associative memories are stored within our daily actions and become very mechanical in nature. We automatically learn a task and the principles of performing that task, and it is then programmed for later retrieval by the subconscious mind. During memory retrieval, there is first a question that begins activity in the neural network. The memory is then very quickly recalled that relates to what is happening. Almost immediately, there is an activity pattern that will follow the memory, and that activity will almost always be in alignment with the memory. These memories allow little room for error and can be recalled not only by the exact original event that caused them, but by all circumstances and situations that are similar. For example, if someone hurt your feelings and soon after called and asked you to go to lunch, you would immediately remember all of the reasons why you don't want to go to lunch with them. This will create a mental list of all of the things that relate to you feeling upset. Your body may begin at this point to give you many different physical reactions, such as turning red, sweating, or a racing heart. You may then be prompted to perform other actions that correspond with what you normally do when you're upset or feeling hurt. This is an example of how associative memory works. It takes us from thought to action to becoming or embodying a specific way of being or feeling, and this usually happens within fractions of a second, as it is already programmed. The good news about associative memories is that we have the choice to consciously use them in our favor. By expanding our knowledge, we can begin to change our associative memories to ones that are more suitable to the life we truly want to live. Through doing this, we create new neural pathways that align with a way of being that is our choice of reaction, rather than the previously stored reactions that can become outdated regarding what we want from life. And when our thoughts and actions are aligned with the positive states that we really want to feel, we carry a vibrational frequency that attracts more things to feel good about. The way to do this is by gaining new knowledge and then contemplating using that new knowledge in your life. In other words, you can make the decision not to react with your standard automatic programs. This happens when we decide that we want to change our circumstances and who we are in relation to them. It's a rigid decision to dictate life's events, rather than allowing life's events to dictate how we feel or behave. In turn, our circumstances will eventually catch up with this new way of being. For example, if the friend that hurt your feelings calls and asks you to go to lunch, you can decide that you will not let these old memories of hurt gauge your new actions. When you do this, the neural circuits that are connected to the old you begin to unwire. And through practicing a new way of feeling and being, the old identity begins to fade and a new one starts to form in its place. When we let go of old thought patterns and the habitual emotional reactions that go with them, a new way of being begins to form. And this type of exercising of the mind and body reinforces who you now want to be. As you begin to observe the old self and notice how you act or react in your experiences, you essentially become aware of the mental patterns that exist that aren't in alignment with how you would like life to be now. In other words, you become conscious of your unconscious programs. This type of observation puts you consciously in charge of your life. It's really a simple process. Try the following. The next time you are in a situation where you are feeling less than great, notice exactly what occurred to bring up these feeling states. Next, trace back as far as you're able to in your life and discern when the negative emotion first started for you or when you can first remember it. For example, if a friend said something to hurt your feelings, how did you learn to be hurt by someone else's words? This most likely started in your early childhood, but that is not who you are now. In other words, it's an old associative memory that you no longer have to hold on to. You can simply decide to behave differently and project a new vibration that brings new experiences to you. Ask yourself the following questions when you have decided to make a change. How do I not want to feel about this? How can I modify my behavior where this particular event or person is concerned? What new actions can I take, even if they don't feel comfortable at first? How would I now like to feel about this experience? What types of new reactions would I like to have so that this new experience leads to this new feeling? What can I do in this moment to change my state of being and begin feeling this way? Take the time to really imagine yourself performing the answers you've given to these questions. When you do this, you take the process from the thinking stage through the doing stage and into the being stage. Once this takes place, you begin to form a new associative memory. Through practice, this creates you as the person that you would prefer to be, and in turn, your experiences will begin to match that. With this process, you begin to project yourself into potential circumstances ahead of time so that your actions and feelings match what you want most. You take on a new identity that represents how you really choose to feel, rather than allowing old patterns to be in control. Your brain will then capture this image and the new feeling states as if your new behavior and events have already occurred. This starts the process of rewiring new neural pathways with which to view life and experiences. If you truly want to have a new set of experiences, it will begin with your thought processes, feeling states, and behavior. These things make up your vibrational frequency, and you can only have what you're willing to become on a vibrational level first.